What's up, Panko fam? Today we're going over the exact mistakes that are killing your gains. For about 4 years of my fitness journey, I made very little progress. I was putting hours and hours of work in, but I was not seeing the results I wanted. But then I did some research, cut out these mistakes, and my gains absolutely blew up. You're likely doing at least one of these, and if you cut it out, I promise your gains will blow up as well. As always, let's get straight into it, no fluff. Mistake number 1. Too much volume. More is not always better. You don't need 4 sets of one exercise. I used to go into the gym and just spam a million sets of a million reps because I thought more work equals more gains. And I do it for lagging muscles, expecting that muscle to grow as a result. And this is common advice. So many people tell you to spam lateral raises to get them to grow, and to do 4 sets of 12 per exercise. But at a certain point, you're not getting any more stimulus and therefore not getting any more muscle, and all you're doing is making it harder for you to recover. So the extra volume is just unnecessary and working against you. Instead, you perform low volume, high intensity so that you're maximizing stimulus while minimizing fatigue. In other words, you're maximizing how much muscle you'll gain while making it as easy as possible to recover, because better recovery equals better gains. And this brings me to mistake number 2, lack of intensity. The last few reps right before failure are what build the muscle. And the truth is, so often when you think you're getting so close to failure, you're actually not. Even after 7 years of lifting, I'll still think I only have 1 more rep on squat, and then end up doing 3 or 4 more. And since you're doing low volume, your body can easily recover from hitting every set to failure. Once I switched from 4 sets close to failure to 2 sets to failure per every exercise, my gains skyrocketed. 2 sets per exercise, sometimes 1, all sets taken to failure. And you will maximize stimulus while still making it so easy for your muscles to recover. And bonus, it's honestly huge for your mentality. Pushing past what your brain thinks is failure to hit true failure will teach you unbreakable discipline, and that you are capable of way more than you realize. Number 3, not committing to a bulk. Recently, a lot of people are going against bulking and saying it's unnecessary. But no, they're thinking of dirty bulking, which is when you eat way more than you need to enter a huge surplus, which ends up gaining you unnecessary fat that you'll have to cut off without actually gaining any extra muscle. But the other option of not bulking at all means being shredded year-round, which is just not what your body is supposed to do. This is the main thing that was destroying my gains. I was trying to be as shredded as possible year-round, but that was just massively slowing down my progress. It was only when I allowed myself to enter a lean bulk phase, where I'm not putting on unnecessary fat, I'm still keeping my abs, but my focus becomes getting as much muscle as possible, even if that means a slight increase in body fat percentage. And I made more progress in 6 months than the previous years. So how do you properly lean bulk? Well, I made a video on this, so feel free to check that out, but I'll also give some quick tips here. Slight calorie surplus, just a few hundred calories. At least 90% of your food should be healthy. Fruit, vegetables, lean proteins like chicken, beef, whey protein powder. Focus on progressively overloading. If you're not getting stronger and hitting plateaus, slightly increase the calories. If you're getting significant fat, slightly decrease the calories. Prioritize protein, 1 gram of protein per pound you weigh every single day. And how long you take it depends on personal goals and progress. But don't allow the fat to become a problem. If you start to lose your abs, start the cut. And don't enter a surplus if you're already overweight. Get lean, get shredded, and then start the lean bulk. You want a good foundation. Now we're on to mistake number 4, not tracking your progress in the gym. I used to go into the gym and just do whatever I felt like. Choose a weight that sounded about right, do a bunch of reps, get a sick pump, and then leave. No plan, no tracking. But this means you're not guaranteeing progressive overload. So how can you be sure you're eating enough, or recovering enough, or sleeping enough? If you're progressively overloading, which means getting stronger, that means you're gaining muscle. But if you're not, you know to look at your sleep, your supplements, your food, whatever else. But if you don't track, you never know, and you can spend months at a time not making any real progress. And that's what I did. Now I keep a notes app of every exercise. How much weight I do, how many reps I do, how many sets I do. But here's the important thing. You don't have to progressively overload every single session. In fact, you shouldn't be. That's just not possible. If you do 7 reps last push day and then 6 reps this push day, don't freak out. Your strength varies day by day based on sleep, food, and so many other factors you don't even know about. But you do need to be getting stronger at least every few weeks if you're on the bulk. And you do need to at least maintain your strength from the cut. If you maintain your strength from the cut, that means you're not losing muscle, which means you're okay. If you are losing significant strength, it means you're not cutting properly and you may be losing muscle. So make sure to track everything. This relates to mistake number 5, not having a set routine for each day. A lot of people have a grab bag of random exercises. Okay, I need to hit chest, triceps, and shoulders today. So they just do whatever exercise is open they feel like. They switch around the order, they do different exercises, and so on. There are 3 main problems with this. The first problem relates to the last mistake. You're not able to properly track your progress if you're doing random exercises in a random order. And it's more than that. Every time you do a new exercise, your body and your mind need to relearn it. The whole idea of increasing gains by shocking your muscles is actually just a myth. You want to stay consistent with the same exercises for a long time to get better and better at them. You're not relearning anything, you're not changing up the routine, you're tracking exactly how you're doing on each exercise. Additionally, how much you prioritize each muscle depends on when you train it in the session. So if you want to prioritize your chest, stop switching up the order. Always do chest first. So there are a million different factors why this is a problem. But the bottom line is you need to have a set routine of set exercise that you stick to for a long time. And this means if someone's on a machine I want, I'll ask to work in or I'll just patiently wait for it. If you don't like working in with people or you're in a rush, then yes, it's okay. Just do as similar of an exercise as possible. Mistake number 6, not enough rest time in between sets. Yes, this isn't a huge one. This isn't completely destroying your gains. But it does make a difference if you're resting just 1 to 2 minutes in between sets like so many people are. If you rest just 1 to 2 minutes and then hit your next set, you're probably going to fail not because you actually hit the muscle to failure, but because your body is overall tired, you're gassed, you're running out of breath. In bodybuilding, you want to make sure you're failing because of the target muscle, not because of anything else. I rest 3 to 5 minutes in between sets, varying depending on the exercise. and this allows me to push with maximum intensity every set. And as we know, intensity is the most important thing for gaining muscle. So take a second and scroll on your phone. It's okay. You need that rest time. 3 to 5 minutes, longer for something like squats where it's really intense. And additionally, rest in between single arm exercises. If you hit your left arm and then immediately hit your right arm is not getting as much stimulus as your left arm because your overall body is tired. You're not pushing it with as much intensity. This does not need to be as long, but definitely rest for at least 1 to 2 minutes in between arms. Mistake number 7. It's super simple, yet it's the second most common mistake I see holding people back, behind lack of intensity. The mistake, not getting enough protein in. So many people think they're fine if they just drink 1 to 2 protein shakes or eat some chicken after they work out. But no, if you're not actively and consciously working towards your protein goal, you're probably not hitting it. So track your protein. I personally don't track my calories on the bulk because it's so much effort, and I have enough experience and knowledge to eat based on how I feel, but I do track my protein year round. In fact, in the last 4 years, I've only missed my protein intake twice. That's how important it is. How much protein should you be getting? 1 gram of protein per pound you weigh every single day. A lot of people will say, Max, that's too much. Yes, it's slightly more than what you need. You could likely be fine with just 0.8 per pound you weigh. However, there's no harm in getting a little bit extra, and there is a lot of harm in not getting enough. This ensures that even if you miscalculate, or some of the protein isn't the most high quality, or it's not perfectly spread out, you're still all good. And if you're on an aggressive cut losing a lot of fat, I suggest getting even more, 1.2 grams of protein per pound you weigh to ensure no muscle loss. No excuses, get your protein, even if that means drinking some protein shakes, protein bars, protein chips. As I always say, not every source has to be perfect. It's good to get it with whole foods, but if necessary, have some other protein. Some tips, eat protein throughout the day. As soon as you wake up, get a good protein breakfast. Greek yogurt, eggs, protein powder. Get started early, and then end the day with a protein shake right before bed. Enough to finish your protein goal and ensure you're not going too much time without protein, because too long without protein leads to muscle loss, but still not too much right before bed that you hurt your sleep. Which brings us to mistake number 8, not getting proper sleep. I'll keep this one quick and simple. 8 hours a night, cool, dark room, no caffeine for ideally at least 5 hours before bed. Try to stay off your phone or any other screen for at least an hour before bed. Instead, try journaling, praying, reflecting, reading, or something else calming. I especially like to write my to-do list for the next day. Go to sleep at the same time every day and wake up at the same time every day, whenever possible. You want your brain and body on a schedule. And not completely necessary, but I take magnesium glycinate, which has many benefits, but one of those is improved sleep. Mistake number 9, forcing progressive overload. I talk a lot about how progressive overload is the most important thing, and that is true. But some people run with this and start forcing it every session at the cost of form. Always ensure perfect form first. It ensures you're targeting the muscle, it ensures safety from injury, and it ensures you're progressively overloading because you're actually building muscle, not because you're just changing your form. Don't force it. Form first. Yes, I do cheat reps at the end of the set where I swing the weight and break form, and I suggest you do the same to maximize intensity. However, you do it to a moderate extent, not enough to injure yourself. And when you track the lift, you specify how many reps were cheat reps. If I do 7 clean reps and then 3 cheat reps, I put in my notes 7-3. Overall, it's simple. Low volume, high intensity, hit your protein, get your creatine in, and most of all, be patient. This takes time. One day at a time, you're going to build your dream physique. And trust me, all of this work is going to be worth it when you see yourself in the mirror and you're proud of what you've built. And those are the 9 major mistakes that are costing you gains. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I'll be happy to reply to all of your questions and help you guys out. And let me know what videos you guys want to see next. I have some more vlogs and more advice videos on the way. Really appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe and stay locked in because we are getting the best physique possible this summer.